boys and girls. Today is March 19th, 2020. It is lesson 128. It is the first day of spring, one of my favorite days in the whole world. Or the whole year, I guess I should say. So we're going to start with phonics again today. It's a pretty short lesson today about our adjectives. What is an adjective? It is a word that describes a noun. What is the question we learned that adjectives can answer yesterday? Remember? What kind? All right, if I had an apple here and we wanted to describe it, we could say our apple may be red, green, or yellow. It would be sweet, crunchy. Maybe it's tart, kind of sour. That would be what kind of apple we would have. Well, another question we can ask ourselves is how many? How many apples do I have? Well, I could say I have two. If I had two apples, I have two apples. So we're going to ask ourselves the question, what kind or how many with our adjectives? Our adjectives describe the noun. So if I say I have two red sweet apples, two is how many, what kind, a red and a sweet apple. So those are words describing my noun. If you look at page 255, it says an adjective is a word that describes a noun. It may answer the question, how many? 2 cookies, 10 pennies is the example. Number 1 says write a number, word, adjective in each blank. Okay? It's going to be a little story about camping, and you just have to add number words before each one. You can have fun with it if you want and make silly ones. That's okay. And then it says, remember, an adjective may answer the question, what kind, or how many. Read the paragraph. Circle the adjective that best describes each underlined noun. So if we look at the first sentence, Acadia National Park in Maine has over 45 miles of carriage roads. Well, miles is underlined, so the word that describes it, you're going to circle 45 because that tells how many miles. And then of carriage roads. So roads is our noun, and what kind of roads? Carriage roads. So that's what you'll do there. On the back, number 1 says to read the sentence. Mark the circle under the correct word. Mark the circle under NH if the answer is not here. Stephen made a chocolate pie on Saturday. Whole, H-O-L-E, W-L-E, or not here. It would be W-H-O-L-E, means the entire thing. Number 2, read these sentences about Acadia National Park. Use proofreader marks to show which words should be capitalized. Place the correct punctuation at the end of each sentence. So you'll remember you're punctuating. If you're going to do capitalization, you put 3 lines under the letter that needs to be capitalized. And for punctuation at the end, you put your caret, and then you put your punctuation mark above it. And number 3 says, write an interrogative sentence about something you would like to know about Acadia National Park. An interrogative sentence is what kind of sentence? A sentence that tells you something. So write a question that you would like to know about this park. All right, phonics and language was pretty simple today. So we're going to move on to math. I forgot to remind parents that on Thursdays we actually do lesson 120. This week is lesson 129 on math because we move our tests to Friday and do all our tests on one day. So we have to do the Friday lesson on Thursday. So we're going to talk about 2 as a factor. So we've done multiplying by 1. We can multiply by 0. Those 2 are very simple. We've multiplied by 10. We've multiplied by 5. Now we're going to add multiplying by 2. I have 2 circles on the board, and we're going to pretend those are plates. Okay, so there are 2 people. Mom is packing a little snack for Nathan and Nita. She's going to put 4 cookies on each plate. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we wanted to figure that out, we could do a basic addition, and we could say 4 plus 4 equals 8. So there's 8 cookies altogether. Well, we could also write a multiplication sentence. Okay, first of all, how many plates do we have? We have 2. How many cookies are on each plate? 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. Okay, if Mom were to put 1 flashlight in your bag, how many flashlights did she pack all together? Well, there were 2 people. There were 1 flashlight They each had a bag, so 1 times 2 equals 2. We've already learned 1 times 2, and 0 times 2, 5 times 2, and 10 times 2. So you already know those. So you just have to learn the others. So we're going to look at those on your paper, but first I wanted to give you a little pop quiz. So if you got a paper, get your piece of paper ready. We're going to do an oral pop quiz. That means I'm going to give you the question and I'll give you a few seconds to write the answer down, and then we can go over the answer. All right, if you got a piece of paper, how many days are in a leap year? Write your answer. How many days are in a leap year? Okay, you should have put 366. This year is a leap year, 2020. How many quarts are in 1 gallon? How many quarts are in 1 gallon? Write your answer. I hope you got 4. Okay, the next question is how many feet are in 1 yard? How many feet are in 1 yard? I hope you said 3. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. Okay, one we haven't done in a while. How many centimeters are in 1 meter? This one we may have to think about. How many centimeters are in 1 meter? You should have had 100. Okay, this one is which is longer? Which is longer, a centimeter or an inch? Which is longer, a centimeter or an inch? I hope you chose inch because that's the right answer. Which measure weight ounces or which measures weight? Ounces or centimeters? Which measures weight? Do you use ounces or do you use centimeters? I hope you chose ounces. And then what month comes next? November, December, blank. November, December, blank. January would be the month. Let's do a couple story problems. They're actually listening skill problems, so you have to listen for what I'm asking you. A fact that is necessary to solve this problem is missing, so I need to know what's missing. A ranger worked 3 more hours on Tuesday than he worked on Monday. How many hours did he work on Tuesday? I'm going to read it again. A ranger worked 3 more hours on Tuesday than he worked on Monday. So how many hours did he work on Tuesday? Okay, what's missing? The thing that would be missing here is we have no idea how many he worked on Monday. So we cannot figure out that problem. Here's another one. The grizzly bear is the most dangerous animal in North America. So what animal in North America is more dangerous than a grizzly bear? I hope you said none. Okay, because the grizzly bear is the most dangerous animal in North America. Let's take out our math page. Turn to page, or you should have your page 257. Okay, on number 1, it says write the quotients. You're going to be dividing by 5. We talked about that yesterday. Then 2, fill in the blanks. So you're going to kind of go through there, and it's going to help you with the division problem and the problems underneath. Number 3, you're going to count by 10 using Roman numerals. 4, you're going to multiply by 10 and write the product, which is the answer in the starfish. Number 5, write the sums and differences. And number 6, answer that question. On the back is our lesson from the day. 2 is a factor. When 2 is a factor, we double the other factor. We had 4 cookies on this plate and 4 on this. 4 plus 4 is 8. We've said this is a double all year. So when you have 2 as a factor, one of the numbers you multiply, you just double the other factor. Okay, so if you look through there, it shows you dot cards. It shows you addition problem and the multiplication sentence so that you can see and understand them. So on number 1, it says write the sums, then the products. Remember, the products is the answer to the multiplication problem. So number 2, you're just going to double the factor and put it in the different shapes, and then you're going to answer the multiplication problem underneath it. So number 3 says, measure the sides of each shape to find the perimeter, use the centimeters. If you do not have a ruler, I'll tell you that the sides are 3 and 3 at the top of the rectangle, and they're 4 and 4 on both sides in case you don't have a ruler. So 3 centimeters on top and bottom and 4 on the 2 sides. On the second shape, all of the sides on the bottom are 3 and the one across the top is 5. So the line across the top is 5 centimeters and then all other lines are 3 centimeters. So that will help you in case you don't have a ruler at home. All right, I noticed that I went ahead and taught 2 science lessons, or talked about 2 science lessons in my first video. So we are moving into today's lesson on Thursday, and it is enjoying the plant world. God has designed plants to grow and live. Without plants, we couldn't be here, okay? They are really important. They give us our oxygen and different nutrients in our food. So you're going to start reading on page 31 about the plant world, and read page 32. Then on page 33, it's going to tell you about some different parts. I wonder if any of you have ever found a pine cone on the ground. I've had several of them. Most of you've probably seen a pine cone, and it usually comes from a pine tree. From spruce trees, fir trees, cedar trees are all pine trees. Since pine trees do not have flowers, pine cones are the pine tree's way of making seeds. If you look very carefully, you can see the seeds inside each of the pine cones. So if you have any where you live, or maybe Grandma and Grandpa have some and you can see them, maybe they can get one to kind of show you the seeds in them. Okay, so you're going to talk about roots, stems, leaves, and flowers, why they're important. And then on page 34, you can't write the answers in your book, but after you read it, I'd encourage you to see if you can answer those, especially the bottom. Know what the flower, stem, and leaves and roots do for the plant. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday.